Alrighty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Arizona Cardinals. Why the Arizona Cardinals 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron that never gets old. Woo, anybody out there that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever might want to be, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away with your comments there. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, I got the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. It's free of charge. What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook links takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's my group, but basically I say this in every video, right? Every video. My YouTube channel, Facebook group, my Facebook page. It's all called the same thing. That way it dumbs it down for a moron like me. That way I don't got what's my channel called? What's the YouTube page? It's all called the same thing. It makes it nice and easy for me, right? So in the group, it's New York Giants Gridiron. We have over 6,100 members. It's doing very, very well. It's every couple of days we're going up like another 100 members or so, especially since the season's here. Basically, what I do is once I get done going live, I'll probably spend the next couple of hours or so just putting stuff in here in the group and in the page, which I'll go over in just a minute. I try to get, now the season's upon us, there's so much stuff to put in there. So I get like 15, 20 things every day going in. And basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in the group. So it's all darn near almost 365. I mean, I might miss a day or two maybe for the whole season, but for the most part, there's stuff going in here every day, right? Whether it's a post, a picture, a video, maybe sharing an article, maybe something just showing some stats on a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? There's a boatload of stuff going in there every day. And not only do I put stuff in here, but the members post stuff in here as well, too. Like I just approved there was something, somebody had I guess it was either an article or it was a video showing the Giants, they beat, what was the score? In 2000. They beat the Cardinals in 2000. Well, they played them 2 times in 2000, but they maybe it was the one because they blew them out. So it was probably the one where they played in Arizona. They beat them 31-7. So maybe that's the one that they're talking about. The Giants Super Bowl season. So so I just approved that. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going in here, every day. And then basically in the second Facebook link, right, takes you to my Facebook page. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's a page. I'm the administrator. I'm the only one, post anything in there, but basically it's the same thing. Once I get done going live here, I'll spend the next couple hours, putting stuff in the group and in the page. Once it's the same thing, I try to get like 15, 20 things in there every day. And whether it's a video, a post, a picture, something showing some stats on a ball player, maybe sharing an article, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites. I absolutely despise those 2 freaking teams. Can't stand them. I'd much rather watch the Commanders than those 2 freaking loser teams. But so it's basically it's the same thing. It's darn near 365 stuff going in there too. And I don't commingle with stuff. So basically, all the stuff I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Where I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I just keep the stuff separate, right? So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member of it, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day, darn near almost 365. But I said, you can't please everybody, right? So I got my money back guaranteed. So if you go to the page, you like it, you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member. If you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, all that stuff said and done and out away with. Well, saw this article. It makes a lot of sense to me. About why they should, pound Saquon. I mean, to a certain extent. Obviously, you don't want to overuse them. That was something that, one of the things that the Giants did a lot last season. They seemed to, which wasn't bad, not a bad idea, but used Saquon quite a bit, and they got a lot out of him. Now he seems to be fresh, right? They didn't put him in the preseason. What do they have? Let's see here. Hold on here. Nope. Play-by-play box score. Here we go. All right. He had 12 carries against the Cowboys, and what do they have? 3 catches. So, right. I mean, he's hardly been used. Run Saquon, or just run Saquon. The Cardinals, to their credit, they did a pretty good job of, every game is different. I get that and all, but Washington did not really run wild on the Cardinals. The Commanders ran the ball 28 times for 92 yards. Now, if you take out Sam Howell's 2 runs, right, they ran 26 times for 81 yards. So they did not average, they were not, they ran 28 times. They threw it 31. So basically almost, not quite 50-50, but, close. But then again, they don't have Saquon either. The one thing is with the Giants, I said Saquon, where did he run the ball last week? Was it 12 times for 51 yards, 4.3 yards a guy? Obviously, he had the 18-yarder, the long one. But still, he had the ball. They ran the ball a decent amount, but then, of course, the problem with that, is that, to keep the running game going, you got to be in the football game. You can't be down 312-0 at halftime. That just kind of takes you right out of the game. Hey, we're down by 700 touchdowns. Let's establish midway through the third quarter. Let's establish the run, right? Maybe we can wear them down. Maybe we can grab a touchdown out of this. So all of that is kind of out there. And of course, you had basically what could go wrong went wrong for the Giants against the Cowboys, and also. Once it's 26-0 at halftime, it's kind of tough to, because even 27, that's still 4 scores, and it's pouring rain. You haven't done nothing right, this, that, and the other thing. So it's kind of tough. Hey, let's just start running Saquon. Let's see if we, maybe we can get in the field goal range or something. No, so you need to move the ball in a hurry and try to score some points. So obviously, you need to stay close. Now, without some, whatever, major, horrific, something going absolutely horrible for the Giants, they should be in this game, right? Kind of hoping, that they'll be winning the game. But, right, regardless, whether they're winning it or just losing or whatever, they should be in this game. Therefore, I think it would behoove them to I got this article here that I want to makes a lot of sense here, but give it to Saquon. Once again, usually a lot of times obviously okay, we're just going to run Saquon first and second down, and on third down we'll throw the ball, and then hopefully we'll get a first down. On next drive we'll run the Saquon first and second down. Obviously you have to mix it up, but those 1 and 2 yard, 3 yard runs in the first quarter turn into 2, 3, 4 yards maybe in the second quarter, turn into 3, 4, 5 yard runners or whatever, or 6 yard in the third quarter, and then it turns into somewhere along the line you might start seeing some holes, nice sized holes open up when we start talking double digit. Well, I mean, he had, had an 18-yarder against the Cowboys, right? But if you can keep doing it, and not even just Saquon, get the killer bees out there, get Brightwell and Breida out there as well too. Give those guys the ball. But it would be nice to see the Giants. I mean, it was they ran the ball 28 times. They passed the ball 30. However, out of the 28 runs, Daniel Jones ran 13 times. Now, I forgot how many times out of those 13 he was actually running for his life because of a porous pass protection. Right, he's getting the ball in the shotgun snap just before it hits his hand from John Michael Schmitz. The ball's in the air. He's looking around, and there's 13 Dallas Cowboy defenders in the backfield. Well, it's kind of tough to stand in the pocket then, so he's, he's taking off. So out of those 13 runs, I don't remember exactly how many were designed runs on his part, but, and then of course, let's not forget he threw 30 passes. But let's not forget he got sacked actually 9 times. 2 of them came back because of a penalty. So it wasn't 50. It said that he threw the ball 30, or between him and Tyrod, he threw the ball 30 times and they ran 28. Well, it wasn't 50-50 run pass. I mean, some of them, those scrambles, all the times he got sacked for losses and all that. So, but of course, obviously you're down by a boatload of points. You got to start passing the ball. But I said, get Breida. Breida had 2 carries for 9 yards. Gary Brightwell had 1 carry for 5 yards. But of course, when the Cowboys are up by a lot, and you're down by as many points as the Giants were, and they'll give you a 5-yard run, 4 or 5 yard run. Yeah, hey brother, you got it. Good run, pal. All right, let me help you up. Keep that clock running. Yeah, all right, good. 2nd down and 5. You go hold it back up. Run the ball again. Yeah, that's no problem. They'll give you 4 or 5 yards. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, go on up. Keep pedaling. Establish that run. Yeah. You're down 40 to nothing. Establish the run, But I mean, I think in a game like this is one of those games. I certainly think that they can, keep it with Saquon, which also help. One thing you want to do is try to maybe slow down their pass, because they sacked Howell 6 times. So they had a nice little pass rush going there, and also not to forget, because their coach Gannon, who's the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, has become very. He played the past 2 seasons he was the defensive coordinator. So the past 2 seasons, 21 and 22, he went up against the Giants 5 times. So he's very familiar, with the Giants. But keep pounding Saquon, pounding him. Liability of him, he's capable of obviously breaking something. But I saw this article here. It says from Empire Sports Media, Anthony Rivardo. Sounds good. Giants are looking to bounce back with a win in week 2 after their embarrassing shutout defeat to the Cowboys. The Giants have a favorable matchup this Sunday, traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. In order to secure the victory, however, Big Blue will need to run their offense through star running back Saquon Barkley. Barkley looked solid in the season opener. Despite the scoreline, there were some positives to draw from the season opener. Also, I mean, in the what was it? Was it 3rd and 1 or on the opening drive? 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, whatever it was, or so. They ran the ball to the right hand side. There was a little crease that opened up in there, and he hit it, and he whatever he picked up, I forgot what it was, 4 yards on the play or so. It was a first down. Got it, but he got tackled, but he almost broke it. Almost, obviously, almost is almost. It is what it is. But I mean, he was close. He was close. See, despite the scoreline, there were some positives to draw from it from the season opener. Of the few positives, Barkley's performance happened to be one of them. On their first drive of the game, the Giants marched down the field and into the red zone, picking up the majority of their yardage on the ground, picking up all of their yardage on the ground. Well, I mean, some of it was a penalty, but I don't think they completed a pass in that drive. I mean, it was either designed runs or Daniel Jones was running for his life. Plus, not to forget the 15-yard penalty that got tacked on from that late hit. Daniel Jones was trying to slide. The Cowboys hit him late, 15-yard flag. So, I mean, but I don't think in that drive at all there was a completed pass. Wait, let's see here. Let's play-by-play. Let's go to ESPN's good old play-by-play. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. 1st and 10, Barkley, left guard for 5 yards. 2nd and 5, Jones scrambles. 1st and 10. Oh, okay. First and Daniel Jones pass short right to Barkley for no gain. Then 2nd and 10, Barkley right tackle for 9 yards. 3rd and 1, Barkley right end to the 33 for 5 yards. That might be the one I'm talking about, where he ran to the right. There's a little bit of hole, and he almost took it to the house. But then Breida right guard for 6 yards. Then Jones scrambles for 11 yards. Then the Giants had to call a timeout. It was just, from there it just started snowballing. Barkley up the middle for no gain. Daniel Jones scrambles. So he scrambled 3 times. Then the penalty. Then the fumbled snap, and then the block kick back for a touchdown. So they did complete one pass in that drive, but it went for no yards. But other than that, Barkley, Breida, and Daniel Jones ran the ball. So basically, between and the penalty they got added on too. The penalty for curse, unnecessary roughness, 15 yards enforced from the Giants 38. So it went from the 38 to the 47. So I mean, so basically, they just, they're running. But I mean, some of it also was, the fact that he's scrambling because he was under some pressure. But it's just simply amazing how, that block field goal. It was just block field goal, and they got run back for a touchdown. The false start on Andrew Thomas, the bad snap by Michael Schmitz. Andrew Thomas pulled the hamstring trying to run on the block field goal, and Graham Gano got his ankle or foot stepped on or cleated or whatever it was on the block kick. It's just absolutely freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Of course, we're talking about the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, and everything goes in the Cowboys. Everything. Simply absolutely freaking amazing. So the Giants ran the ball 8 times for 52 yards to get their offense inside the red zone on the first drive. Barkley totaled 19 yards on 5 carries on the drive. He finished the game with only 12 carries. So he ran the ball, it says here, it ran the ball 5 times. That's what it says here on the drive for 19 yards. And the whole rest of the game, he carried it 7 times. So after it got, let's see here. Hold on. Play-by-play. All right, so after he got run back, let's see, there was 8 minutes to go. So basically, 8 minutes. So basically, the first half of the first quarter, Saquon ran it 5 times. The rest, the final 3.5 quarters of the game, he ran the ball 7 more times. Now, of course, once again, I understand when you're down a boatload of points, it's tough to run the ball. But let's see. So he carried the ball 12 times for 51 yards, 4.3 yards an attempt. So the score got out of hand rather early in the contest, causing Barkley to get pulled from the lineup to preserve his health. So, I can understand that. But Barkley gave Big Blues offense signs of life in week 1. Giants quickly abandoned the run in the first quarter. He made a mistake that would have ultimately cost them everything. Well, I mean, they were down 16-0, but that's just 2 scores. You got 3 quarters of football left to go. You're at home. Things weren't going right for you, but they just didn't, I don't know. I mean, you certainly could have kept trying to run. I mean, once again, it's the thing of insanity is keep banging your head, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? Meaning, Daniel Jones dropped back to pass. Let's see, the past 13 times. Every time he dropped back to pass, he was harassed, sacked, this, hit, that. So what's going to happen on the next one? We just keep doing it. It's like doing the same thing and expecting something different. In week 2 against the banged-up Arizona Cardinals defense, Barkley needs to be the focal point of their offense. Barkley is remaining calm under pressure. Barkley shared insight on his mindset heading into week 2 after such a lopsided defeat. Analysts are questioning the Giants' ability to make the postseason, and fans are beginning to hit the panic button. Barkley, on the other hand, is maintaining his composure. He says, you can't act like the sky is falling. That's for everyone else to do that. You got to stay solid. Which, I understand. Absolutely, I totally understand. But the New York is under pressure to win this weekend. If they do not secure the victory, they will be staring down an 0-3 start. So, I mean, and that's something they can't. Plus, also, as another part of this article here says the Giants can't trust their offensive line to hold up in pass protection. And I said that, Giants gave up 7 sacks. The Cardinals don't have a formidable pass rush like the Cowboys do, but they still got 6 sacks on Sam Howell. The Giants can't simply rely on their offensive line to hold up. And New York surrendered 7 sacks, and 2 were negated by penalties. Actually, they had 9 sacks. 12 quarterback hits in week 1. Quarterback Daniel Jones was pressured 62.9% of his dropbacks. Basically, 2/3 of his dropbacks he was pressured on. By far the highest percentage of any quarterback in the NFL. The offensive line sunk the game plan in week 1, something that cannot happen again in week 2. They absolutely cannot do that. The best way to mitigate an offensive line struggles in the passing game is to keep the ball on the ground. Right? Barkley is no stranger to playing behind poor offensive line, forcing himself into the workhorse role. Last season, Barkley took 30 or more carries in 2 separate games. The Giants won both of those games on the shoulders of their star running back. Right? Expect to see New York deploy a similar approach in week 2. While Barkley may not surpass the 30 attempt marker, he should easily touch the ball. At least 20 times. Absolutely. I mean, if he, I would definitely run him the ball at least 20 times. Absolutely. And then, let's not forget about Daniel Jones. If he's dropping back the pass, right? Or you keep using Saquon, right? And then all of a sudden, one time you fake it to Saquon, and you have Daniel Jones is like, running with the ball. Or, let's not forget, Daniel Jones dropping back the pass. If there's, if he doesn't see anybody open, he can take off. So, but I would like to see, rely heavily on the run game this weekend, just to try to keep it, as close as possible. Just try to, really just try to, pound the rock and just get the W. It's not like, well, hey, we got playing the Cardinals. We got to make up for that 40-0 loss. We got to put at least 50 on the Cardinals here. If we don't win 51-3, it's like a loss, No, you got to get out of here with a W. That's the big thing. It's not like, hey, let's start airing it out to Jalen Hyatt and stuff. Well, let's try to get the W. Let's hopefully, win. Just win, baby. All right. So the Giants' injuries, good old Azeez Ojulari. Oh, yeah. Well, season 3 is kind of heading just the way some of the other seasons were heading for him. He's got the hamstring issue, another soft tissue injury. He's doubtful. course, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's doubtful. Now, the thing is with him, right, is that, why would you take him off a pup and just keep not playing him week in and week out and week in? I mean, you could have kept him on pup, and because then you have to miss at least the first 4 games, right? So why would you put him on the 53, if you're not planning on starting him somewhere in the first 4? So you kind of may be thinking that, maybe he'll be due for an entrance, maybe next week, the 3rd game of the season, or if worse comes to worse, the 4th game of the season. I mean, the nice thing is that, they have their, right, let's see here. What do we got there? Whoops. We're going to have their schedule pop up. Yeah. So we got, oh, yeah, I mean, they got a nice, the problem, they got the 4 days and they got to play the 49ers, but then they got a nice long layoff until when they play the Seahawks. So they got like 11 days off, looks like, till from the 49ers to Seahawks. So they have a nice long layoff. So it would really make some sense because they took him off a pup. Why are we taking him off a pup? Okay. If he can't play the first 4 or 5 weeks or so. So, I mean, obviously they're saying something that he should be able to play by the 49er game. If worst comes to worst, by the Seahawk game. I mean, I would be shocked if he's held out for the Jets or the Bills. I mean, so look for him to be available, even if he's only plays 10 snaps or so, but look for him to be available, against the 49ers. I don't know why are you taking him off a pup? I mean, if he ain't going to be able to play, you don't think he'll be able to play for the first 4 weeks, right? Let's see. Of course, we got Andrew Thomas is questionable. One of those things he'll just, it looks like it'll be like a game time decision. I heard Andrew Thomas was talking to some of the media. Just go through the motions and see where he's at, and maybe like a game time kind of thing. Parrott was full participation. He was limited his elbow. He was limited Wednesday. Parrott was limited Thursday. Full participation on Friday though, so that's good. So yeah, it is what it is, right? But I mean, at least you'll have Neal, and you got Parrott if worse comes to worse. And, Zudu played some snaps at left tackle last week. So, and of course, they can bring one of the guys up from the practice squad if need be. But I got Darren Waller, who's limited in practice. I was a hamstring, but also a rest day as well, too. Now, what I heard was that he has got like, obviously it's like this problem with scar tissue, apparently, with his hamstring, and it's going to, I guess, be there probably like pretty much forever. It's not like, well, just stretch out. That's all you can. Just stretch. You got to tie the hamstring. Just stretch. I mean, it's not going to be like that. It's like apparently it's like scar tissue in the one leg, and apparently like when it presses on maybe a nerve and it causes some problem. So it's not like he's got a pulled hamstring. It's like it maybe tightens up or whatever. But apparently I guess it's something that may not ever go away, because he's got, scar tissue. So, I mean, it is what it is. He has to learn to deal with it. The Giants obviously have to, limit him and maybe give him some rest. And, obviously you got to keep an eye on it and all of everything, but it could be something that just kind of lingers pretty much the whole season long. It is what it is, but hopefully with proper rest and proper attention to it and all and everything, hopefully it won't hamper him too much. But hopefully, at least this week, maybe we'll get a chance to see him do his thing, unlike the Dallas debacle where we really couldn't see much of anything. Deonte Banks, he was good. Calf. I mean, I don't think it's his calf. I mean, I know he got taken out with cramps, but now they have, I don't know. I think I'm listed here as a calf. But he was full participation in practice, so that's good. I mean, we need, all hands on deck that we can get for this game. We're going to wind up being huge. Cam Brown, full participation. He had an ankle. Cordell Flott, he had a hamstring. His full participation. Graham Gano, that's good. His right ankle, he's full participation. As I said, Azeez Ojulari and Wan'Dale Robinson, they're both doubtful. Gio, Javarius Owens, he got a hamstring. We got all kinds of hamstrings here. Got Andrew Thomas with a hamstring, Darren Waddle with a hamstring, Cordell Flott with a hamstring, Azeez Ojulari with a hamstring, Javarius Owens with a hamstring. We got everybody. You got a hamstring, and you got a hamstring, and you get a hamstring. Everybody gets a hamstring. Matt Parrott was with his elbow was full participation, and Sterling Shepard. He had a rest day, I believe it was. But he apparently was a full participation. So, I mean, for the most part, we got Darren Waller was limited. So basically, all the guys on the injury report, everyone was full participation in practice on Friday, except, Andrew Thomas. He's going to be questionable. Got Azeez, Wan'Dale, those two are doubtful. And then, of course, Darren Waller, he was limited. So, I mean, just with his workload and being giving him a rest day and limited and all that and everything, and they understand what his problem is, with his hamstring and everything. I'm sure he might be limited throughout the whole season, whether he's feeling fine or not. He might be limited the whole season long. So it is what it is. But so I mean, there's nobody who's out. And I said, if worse comes to worse, we have Azeez Ojulari and Wan'Dale Robinson who are doubtful. But, with Ojulari, I mean, as I said, behind, we don't have anybody behind him. We got Boogie, right? Boogie Basham, who's might be a good, maybe it's setting the edge in the run game and all of that, but you're not going to get a ton out of the pass rush. And then, of course, you got Hottie. He might be, he's a big guy, big, thick guy too, but you're not going to get much out of the pass rush from him. So, this might be with a young quarterback the Cardinals have. It might be a good time to start sending some blitzers to really get him off his mark and start frazzling him, right? Maybe they can get some sacks that way because, I mean, they certainly didn't get no sacks last week against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. And then the Cardinals, they had 6 guys here. Collier, biceps, he's out. And Josh Woods. So they got a defensive lineman. They got Collier and Woods. They're both out. Then you got Kelvin Beachum, an offensive lineman with a hand. He was questionable. Fatu, defensive lineman, he's questionable. And Buda Baker, he's got a hamstring. He was questionable. And then James Conner, he was full participation. He has a calf issue, but it looks like he's full participation. So there's 6 guys. But there are 2 of them that are out. So they got 2 guys on defense who are definitely out. Said Buda Baker is questionable, and Fatu is he's questionable as well too. So they got some guys on defense. I mean, the Giants should be able to do something offensively here. Once again, I said should. I don't want to, I don't want to say they will do something, but they certainly should be able to do something on Sunday offensively. But I definitely think without a doubt, keep getting Saquon in there because, I mean, also not only because, he's running the ball, but he's also one of the few guys. Now, it seems like he's maybe lost a little bit of a step sometimes, it seemed like maybe his rookie season or so, you get him out in space and he's gone, it doesn't seem like it's quite like that. I remember last year against the first game of the year against Tennessee, the Giants game-winning drive, he broke into the clear. He's running with the ball, and one of the cornerbacks, I think it was, caught him from behind. Now they caught him from behind, but punched the ball out, and thankfully the ball went out of bounds. So the Giants got the ball back. But but he's still deadly in space. Just get him in space, and even if he gets caught from behind, it is what it is. But get him in space, let him do his work, his magic. He still make guys miss in the open field and all and everything. So I think it would be huge to get our shiny toy, get the man some rushing attempts. And we got some numbers to know for Sunday's matchup. This is Giants.com. They got a bunch of numbers. Really don't pretty much pertain to the game, but So the Giants visit Arizona. Now, I mean, the Cardinals have had our number, basically. I mean, the past, we haven't beaten them since 2011. We played them 4 times since then. Played them in 14, 17, 19, and 20. And they beat us. I mean, they beat us pretty good. They beat us 20 in 2020. They beat us 26-7. 2019, they beat us 27-21. In 2017, they beat us 23-0. Man, that was the McAdoo's last season there. In 2014, they beat us 25-14. So it wasn't since 2011, our Super Bowl season, that we finally last beat them. So they have had our number. Hopefully things change. Sunday marks the 129th meeting between the clubs, and the Giants are way ahead in this series. Way ahead. 80 to basically, it's almost the same as between the Giants and the Cowboys, almost. I mean, the Cowboys have won almost 80 games against the Giants, and the Giants have only won, like, I think maybe Cowboys won 70-something games. The Giants won 40-something. I mean, the Cowboys have like an over 30-game lead. It's freaking ridiculous. And we still can't even beat them. But, I mean, the Giants have an 80-46 lead over the Cardinals. Giants have won 80, Cardinals won 46, and there have been 2 ties. One of them was oh, my goodness. The 19, was that the 83? Yeah, 83. 1983, the Monday night game, the 20-20. What a absolute toilet bowl game that one was. 2020, the Giants played. It was Parcells' first season. It was a Monday night game. Went to overtime. The Giants were 3-12-1, and their one tie was against the Cardinals. Was it Neil O'Donoghue, Chip O'Donoghue, whatever his name was? O'Donoghue. He was tall, thin kicker for the Cardinals. He missed like 2 field goals. I think he missed 3 field goals, but he missed like 2 field goals, I think, in overtime in like the final minute somehow. Minute and a half of overtime. He missed a field goal. So, and of course, the Giants couldn't do anything with it, so they kicked the ball back to the Cardinals. I'm not sure they got a good return on the punt or not, whatever it was. But then, on the last play of the game, in overtime, Donahue tried another field goal, and he like kicked it like. I don't think he shanked. I think he was just so frazzled. He kicked it so far wide, it was ridiculous. But what a absolute toilet bowl. Oh, my goodness. That Monday night game. Absolutely horrible Monday night game. All right, let's see here. The Giants' most recent victory in the series was 31-27 over in 2011 at State Farm Stadium. Giants' most significant triumph in that venue that called was, of course, when they beat the Patriots in Super Bowl 42. But that one in 2011, the Giants beat the Cardinals was Eli Manning. They were down 27-24. There was about 2-3 minutes to go in the game, and Eli Manning he beat Patrick Peterson. He beat Hakeem Nicks down the left sideline. I think Hakeem Nicks was running. Patrick Peterson had and like turned back to look at Eli, and he kind of like stopped. Hakeem Nicks kept running. And the ball sailed past Patrick Peterson. Hakeem Nicks jumped up, got it, ran into the end zone. The Giants wound up winning. But the Giants, the quarterback, Daniel Jones aims for his 7th in a row with 25-plus rushing yards, which is not always the best. I mean, he's looking for his 7th game in a row with over 25 yards rushing. I mean, that's not always a good sign. He had 85-plus rating in 5 of his 7 road starts last season, his 60-plus completion percentage in 7 of his past 8 road starts. Saquon Barkley has 63 scrimmage yards, 51 rushing, and 12 receiving in Week 1. He had 802 scrimmage yards and 6 rushing touchdowns in 7 road games last season. He averaged 114.6 yards per game on the road last season. He aims for his 5th in a row on the road with a rushing touchdown. He rushed for 72 yards and a TD in his only career game versus Arizona. Tight end Darren Waller had 36 receptions in team debut, 36 receiving yards in team debut last week. He had 6 catches for 50 yards and a receiving touchdown in his last game versus Arizona. Isaiah Hodgins has a receiving TD in 4 of his past 6 games. See, some of this stuff doesn't really matter. They got these numbers here. Darius Slayton has 50-plus receiving yards in 5 of his 7 road games last year. Dexter Lawrence had 4 tackles last week. He has 5-plus tackles in 2 of his past 3 on the road. Leonard Williams had 5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks in his final 4 road games last season. Well, it really didn't show up a whole heck of a lot last week against the Cowboys. Micah McFadden led the team in career high tackle with 10 tackles and had a tackle for loss in week 1. Jordan Riley had a tackle for loss in his NFL debut last week. Bobby Okereke had 5 tackles and his 4th career forced fumble and team debut last week. He had 5-plus tackles in 17 of his past 18 games. He had 8 tackles in his only career game against the Cardinals. Deonte Banks had 2 passes defense in his NFL debut last week. Of course, he only played I don't even think he even played half the game. And he had 2 passes defense, right? So things are looking good for that young man. I know he started off, with in training camp, but early on, it seemed like maybe kind of had some struggles or whatever. But I tell you what, that young man, it looks like he's a keeper. It looks like he's a keeper. So you can certainly be excited about that young man there. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can stay on the field. Trey Hawkins had 7 tackles in his first career game last week. I mean, you gotta love that. I mean, he had a couple penalties. He has some issues with he's got a little Darnay Holmes in him, a little grabby, touchy-feely kind of thing like that, holdy kind of touchy-feel, right? But 7 tackles. The man, he's a tackler. He'll come up and he'll force the issue. He'll make a tackle. So you gotta like that about him. So if he never turns into an all-pro or nothing like that for a 6th-round pick, right? 6th-round pick. I mean. So far, you got to be happy, what he's produced so far. And Xavier McKinney, right, has 6 career game with 2 pass defense in week 1 and aims for his 3rd in a row with a pass defense. Cardinals, Josh Dobbs completed 21 of 30, 70%, but his pass yards per pass attempt were 4.4. Which is absolutely horrible. That's just basically Josh drop back, take a 3-step drop, and look for Zach Ertz, because Zach Ertz led the team with 6 receptions for 21 yards. He averaged 3.5 yards a reception. I mean, so drop back the pass, take 3 steps, and look for Zach Ertz, and just float it over the line to him. He'll be about 3 yards. He'll catch it, and he'll get tackled there, right? We won't throw an interception. We won't get sacked. You'll complete a pass. We'll gain 3 yards. So he threw the ball 30 times for 132 yards, which is he has 20-plus completions in each of his first 3 career starts. James Conner had 5 catches and 70 scrimmage yards, 62 rushing and 8 receiving in week 1. He has 50-plus scrimmage yards in 21 straight games. So, I mean, if he's healthy enough, look for him absolutely to keep running the ball. He'll get 50 scrimmage if he stays healthy. If he's able to stay healthy, absolutely. Look for him to get 50 scrimmage yards, absolutely. He aims for his 4th in a row at home with 110 scrimmage yards and his 5th in a row at home with a touchdown. He has 14 touchdowns in 15 home games with Arizona. Zach Ertz led the team with 6 catches in week 1, 2nd most among NFC tight ends last week. But as I said, he had 21 receiving yards. He has 5-plus catches in 3 of his past 4 home games. He has 70 receptions for 807 yards and 7 receiving touchdowns in 13 career games against the Giants. Yeah, he kills the Giants. Him and Jason Witten. I mean, I can't get words out of my mouth. It's just, you look at after the Cowboys beat the Giants, whatever the score was, and you look at the box score. Yeah, Jason Witten, 13 catches. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, he's not fast. He's not there. How come we can't get anybody to cover the guy? I mean, I know he's good, but why does he always have almost double-digit? Why? I mean, I can't even talk sometimes. It's just amazing. For the past 300 years, we have nobody that can cover tight end. Jason Witten, he's not Tony Gonzalez or nothing. Why can't we cover him? I mean, are you serious? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And same thing with Zach Ertz. Let's see. Marquise Brown had 57 scrimmage yards, 29 rushing, and 28 receiving in week 1. He had 39 receptions for 398 yards and 2 receiving TDs in 6 home games last season. He had a TD catch in his only career game versus the Giants. Buda Baker had 5 tackles in week 1. He has 5+ tackles in 15 of his past 16 games. He has pass defense in 2 of his 3 career games. Against the Giants, aims for his 4th in a row versus the Giants with 6+ tackles. Kevon Wallace had 2 pass defense last week. Zaven Collins had his 2nd career interception and 1st career fumble recovery in week 1. He had a tackle for loss in 4 of his final 5 home games last season. Dennis Gardeck had his 4th career 2-sack game and 2nd career forced fumble in week 1. Had 2 sacks and a fumble recovery in last meeting. Kaiser White led the team with 9 tackles and had a tackle for loss last week. He had 12 tackles, 2 pass defense, and a sack in his last game versus the Giants when he was with the Eagles. And Cameron Thomas had a 1st career fumble return for a touchdown last week. So I mean, the one problem was with the Cardinals. I mean, they were flying around. Oh, Jersey guys. Back from the last few nights. Well, it's getting to be football. It's football weather. You walk out there at nighttime, it's not 80, 90 degrees out there no more. It's a little nip in the air. Certainly a little nip in the air. But with the Cardinals, I mean, they were flying all over the freaking place last week against the Commanders. They were a little too aggressive. They were trying to basically knock guys' heads off, cost them penalty-wise, cost them. But they a lot of it, they got some, they have some speed, and plus they got 6 sacks last week too. So they can get, they're not the Dallas Cowboys. Pass rush, not even close. But they got some pressure. What I saw was some of their sacks, they only rushed like 4 guys. And they got some pressure. So once again, they forced a fumble on Howell and got running back for a touchdown. So they gave the Cardinals their only touchdown. So they're opportunistic. So the Giants with their problems at the offensive line, it's just not like, oh, we're going to play the Cardinals. We'll play good on offensive line this week. Yeah, we're good. It's all right. This is our get right game now. So you better. And once again, Gannon, the head coach of the Cardinals, obviously was with the Eagles, so he's kind of familiar. He played the Giants 3 times last year, against the Giants 3 times last year. So not saying we got the exact same guys on offense. I'm not saying we're running the exact same plays and all that stuff, but there's some familiarity there. So same thing against the Commanders, Gannon was with the Eagles, and he played against the Commanders several times, so he had some familiarity. So I mean, look what they did. They held the Commanders to 20 points. They were winning 16-10, and they gave up the lead. But I mean, they caused some problems for the Commanders, and the Commanders were at home. So now the Giants are on the road. You can certainly cause some problems for the Giants without question. So it's got to be on the P's and Q's, I said, because if they lose this game, of course you got to play the game. The season's not over, and blah, 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 blah. I get it. But if they lose this game and they go 0-2 and they're staring 0-3 right in the face, could be a long season. Yep. Run Saquon. We have to run an offense that looks more like last season. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Because that's what we did a lot, in the beginning, and, rely on Saquon, right? But I mean, also, that helps open up other things too, because, you start handing the ball to Saquon, you hand the ball to, I'm not saying you hand the ball to Saquon every time, obviously, but, you try to get him involved in it, and, maybe they start creeping into the box a little bit or whatever. They might run the ball, and, that starts opening some things up, and you got some guys who can take advantage of that. But the problem is that when you do take advantage of that, he's got to be able to stand up. He's got to be able to stand up from, Daniel Jones got to stand in the pocket for more than half a second. And we need Kayvon. That too. I mean, we'll see, because now it looks like Azeez, it says he's doubtful. So Azeez, shockingly, he's injured. Hard to believe, I know. So now, whoever you got on the other side is not going to give you anything, whatever Azeez is going to give you. What do we got? Boogie Basham over there. We got Hottie Ward. Neither one of those is going to give you much of a pass rush. Dude may be good at setting the edge. They might be good as far as in the run game, but you're not going to get a pass rush. That's not what Azeez can do. So, Kayvon missed number 5 in the draft, number 5 on the jersey. We need to see something, Sexy Dexy had a good game last against the Cowboys, but the pass rush was like non-existent. It's like, and I understand. It is what it is with the salary. I get it, because money got pushed down the road and all that. But hey, Leo the Lion, you're making $32 million this year. Think we can see something out of you? It's a big year for him. Big year, because it's a contract year. Now I don't know what the Giants envisions, of bringing him back. But if he wants, I'm sure somebody obviously is going to sign him next year, and I don't know. But if he only has 2 sacks this season, ain't nobody giving him $20 million next year. Forget about that. I don't even know if the Giants even bring him back. It's going to be one of those decisions, obviously, for next year down the road. What do you think of we go into Frisco 1-1? Yeah, you gotta, because that's going to be a tough one. And once again, every game is different and all that stuff, and I get it. But the Seattle did not look that. Once again, every game is different. Every game is different. But when Seattle beat us last year, they didn't walk all over us. We had those 2 special team fumbles from Richie James, which gave them 10 points. They only had like 250 yards of offense. They did add a wide receiver in the draft. Now Lockett, I don't know. This is obviously, we're looking at a few games down the road here, but I remember Lockett walked off the field against the Rams. I don't know if he's injured badly or not. I'm not sure, but they didn't look very good against the Rams. They got shut out in the second half. I think they were winning. Were they winning like 13-10 at half or something? They lost 27-13. The Rams just scored a bunch of points in the second half. And what do you think of the Jets' chances? Nah, nope. I think maybe with the Jets' defense, they might be able to keep them in the game for a while. Hey, I'm pulling for the Jets because I can't stand the Cowboys. I hope the Cowboys lose every freaking game. I couldn't even watch the game last night with the Eagles. Like with Jefferson stretching out and the ball goes through the end. Get the fuck. I freaking hate that. And of course, they win by 6 points. They kick a 63-yard field goal. The ball goes through the end zone. If he's not stretching out, maybe he gets tackled a yard or so short. Then maybe they run the ball in. They get another tie. Maybe they win the game. I can't stand it. Absolutely can't stand it. Matty Ice in Florham Park. Matty Ice. But I don't see the Jets, not with Wilson. Not with that pass rush they got. But hey, you got to play the games. Anything can happen. Remember, Dak Prescott was throwing some interceptions last year. So if the Jets defense can keep them in the game, hey, anything's possible. You never know. But I think their chances would have been a lot better if they were with Aaron Rodgers. But hey, that brings me to my 4th point here, which same old Jets, same old. Still in search of a quarterback. Since actually Richard Todd didn't do too bad. He obviously never lived up to the Joe Namath, but now I'll have to wait and see. Aaron Rodgers injured here, but this leads me into my next thing here. It says the NFL Players Association requests natural grass fields following Aaron Rodgers' season injury. He plays 4 plays and the season's over. 4 plays, and basically, you don't want to say their season's over with, but their season's over with. I mean, I really have a hard time believing, even if they just say somehow they make the playoffs, I don't see any way in HELL hockey sticks or whatever you want to call it, them making the Super Bowl. If they had Aaron Rodgers there, if he was able to be healthy, they have a shot. But basically, 4 plays into the season, their season's over with. It's unfreaking believable. And of course, it happened on turf, on MetLife Stadium and all that. Says the NFL Players Association called on the league to switch all of its field services to natural grass, suggesting natural grass is simply safer. Yep. Costs more money, but see, you got to start looking at things like this, And then there's a thing in this article here. Whoops. That talks about there's a cost involved, right? In having natural grass. It costs money. Good point. It costs money. What's it cost you to have your star quarterback go down after the first 4 plays of the season? What's that cost you? Cost you a whole season. So what's that cost? Think about that. Grass, or we lose our whole season 4 plays into the game. Grass, or we 4 plays into the season, our whole season's over with. Well, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I put grass in. The one nice thing is, I love the old games oh yeah, that's my favorite. I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. That's why I like with Shea Stadium, because back then they used to have the infield dirt and all of that. So guys get down there, they get tackled they get the dirt up the side of them. Might be the wind come blowing in from the outfield or whatever, because out in the outfield there was back in the early 70s there was no stands there. It was just like the fence and stuff, So they have like the wind's blowing in. Joe Namath up to the line of scrimmage, he's got the face mask there, looking over, and it'd be like dust blowing all over him. And you couldn't even see him half the time and stuff like that. Or the Giants, when the Giants played back then, be like dust from the infield blowing all. It'd be mud and oh man, that's football. That's what I love. But it's worrying about it costing too much money to 30 uniforms, grasses, the face man. Oh, that's it. That's the way to go. But I did hear that I did this on I don't know, man. This was probably during the summer, I guess it was. This apparently with the World Cup coming. The Giants at MetLife Stadium are going to be not the Giants. MetLife Stadium is going to be hosting some World Cup games in 2026. And you have to have grass. So the World Cup will obviously be in the summertime. It'll be, I guess it's like in June and July, so they won't have I guess they'll probably be done before the preseason games start, I guess in August. Be interesting to see what do they do. And, do they, somehow they pull the grass up and get the turf back in there, or do they try to keep the grass? Be very, very interesting to see. Pfeiffer is not allowed to play. Nope. I love it. How many times every soccer stadium has a natural field? Yep. I love it, man. Absolutely love it. Guys get injured and stuff like that and all. But the amount of injuries, they get injured. But they also run a lot farther than the pros do. The guys are in there for however many, 90 minutes. And some of these guys run like 10 miles. Some run less, some run more, like 10 miles in a game, 90 minutes, running, stopping, starting, jumping, leaping, this, that, and the other thing. How many times you see Ronaldo or Messi or something like that, right? Run onto the field, right? The grass field, run onto the field 4 minutes into the first game of the season, boom, he pulls his ACL. He's out for the whole season. You don't see that. Have you ever seen Ronaldo run out there, Right? Boom, blows out his Achilles or something. Oh, you don't see that. It's more forgiving. The only thing wrong with the old Giant Stadium was that, turf. Yeah. I mean, it's not forgiving. It might be maybe a little softer or something like that. They got those pellets and whatever, but I mean, the grass and the ground is a little more forgiving. So I mean, if you do, I'm not saying it's 100% foolproof or nothing, but it's just safer. I know there was something in this article. What was it? Lloyd Howell, executive director for the NFLPA, said in a statement Wednesday that the NFL players overwhelmingly prefer natural grass fields, and the data suggests that they are simply safer than artificial turf. Issues surrounding artificial turf at stadiums have been near the top of the players' list, according to Howell, who said he has previously raised concerns with the NFLPA. Howell noted the NFLPA, the labor union representing NFL players, is aware that a shift to natural grass fields would be an investment. Well, as I said, it would be an investment, but what's your investment in? Now you're paying Aaron Rodgers he has all his money, guaranteed money, right? It's all gone. That's an investment too, right? And it's all gone. 4 plays into your season. While adding that there is a bigger cost if we keep losing our best players to unnecessary injuries. Now, let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers, he played what? Green Bay. Obviously not like he never played on artificial turf, but most of his games he's ever played on has been on grass. Now he plays on a team that has artificial turf. Said Howell also questioned a decision by NFL teams to change their fields to natural grass for the 2026 World Cup and for exhibition games, while inferior artificial surfaces are acceptable for our own players. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah, the World Cup, sure, yeah, we'll change it, sure, yeah, of course we'll change it. But when it comes to our own NFL players, hey, get out of here. I don't care about you. Going back to artificial turf. Moving all stadiums to high-quality natural grass surfaces is the easiest decision the NFL can make, Howell said. And, of course, there's the douche, Jerry Jones. Dallas Cowboy owner Jerry Jones suggested that last year that league stats don't see issues with artificial turf compared to natural grass, adding, "We don't see issues. No facts bear that out." Well, you're just a freaking moron then, Jerry. You are a freaking straight-up moron. 50%, that's how many NFL teams play their homes on artificial turf. So we still got a ways to go. But you got this here. Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon on the 4th play between the Jets and the Bills on Monday. Jets head coach Roberts. Yeah, so, and it says here, announced plans to join the franchise. Oh, the NFL's 4th highest paid player announced plans to join the franchise after restructuring his contract to receive a guaranteed $75 million in his first 2 seasons. So basically, he's getting $75 million between this year and next year. So whatever, half of that or whatever is guaranteed. So basically, he played 4 plays and they're going to give him $30 to $40 million guaranteed for 4 freaking plays this year because of quite possibly because of the artificial turf. It says a study published in 2019 by the American Journal of Sports Medicine found that playing on artificial turf resulted in a 16% increase in lower extremity injuries per play compared to natural grass. 16%. That's a lot. That's a lot. The study included all lower extremity injuries reported for regular season games between 2012 and 2016. Another study published last year by the University of Hawaii suggested that athletes playing on artificial turf may experience a greater risk of suffering concussion than that on grass. Concussions as well, too. So we're talking lower extremity and also concussions. One of the worst injuries you can possibly have. Messing with your brain. Probably maybe the worst injury you can have. Messing with your brain. The NFLPA, citing injury data collected from 2012 to 2018, released its own report, which indicated players were 28% more likely to suffer non-contact lower extremity injuries on turf than on grass. 28%. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's some crazy numbers. What do we got? Oh, the only thing wrong with the old injuries. Yeah. Oh yeah. PA had the juice of the NFL. Yeah. Great. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that might be something. Whatever in the next bargaining agreement. Whatever. However they do it. I mean, it's not like, okay, well, by next season, every team's got to have grass, but it's got to be something along the lines, well, within the next whatever, 5 years, 6 years, whatever, every stadium's got to have grass in there or something, however it is, But I mean, because you see somebody like, and that sometimes that affects sometimes where free agents want to go. Plain and simple. It's like, well, let's see. I got the Giants want me, but the Dolphins want me too. Giants or Dolphins? Giants or Dolphins? What would Aaron Rodgers do? Aaron Rodgers 4 plays, blows out his ACL or whatever, got injured on artificial turf, or I can go to Miami where they got grass. Oh, I'm going to Miami. Sometimes players may not want to come there because you got turf. Right. So, so how much does that cost you? Right. If you got players that don't want to come there because of the turf. So, I think it's somewhere along the line. It just makes sense. I know it's difficult because the Giants had grass from 2000 to 2002. I think it was, they had grass at the old Giant Stadium, and it just was horrible because a lot of it, because they were saying like it was a multi, like the Giants would play there one week, then the Jets would play, then the Giants would play, then so 2 teams are playing in the same stadium, so it's made it a little bit more difficult. But I mean, the Commanders is grass, the Eagles is grass, even Lambeau Field is grass, the Bears Soldier Field is grass. I mean, somebody's playing up north, the grass, and I don't care, how nice the artificial turf might be or whatever. Grass is just safer. And I know some of the stadiums, like with Jerry's World, might be a little difficult to grow grass in there and stuff like that. But, it is what it is. I mean, they got to maybe come up with a way somehow to get grass in there. It is what it is. But, I mean, I definitely think, it's funny because in that article, they have no problem because it means money. Right, in the World Cup to come here, right? Well, of course we'll change the grass. Of course. No problem, baby. We got you. Just come on, play the World Cup here. We got you. Right? But when it comes to our own players, right, the NFL, we put grass in there for you. Get out of here. Come on. Cut me a break. That's expensive. Absolutely unbelievable. So they'll do it for the World Cup, but they won't do it for the NFL. What an absolute freaking joke. It just goes to show you it can be done. And I said it'd be interesting to see because in 2026, so we got 3 years, right? The World Cup is coming. And then because it'll be like, I guess, June, July for the World Cup. And then obviously right after that, in August, the Giants will have preseason games there. So it'll be interesting to see, does the grass come up or do they try to keep it in there and play through it? But I just remember it was not a very good situation when they played back there in like 2000, because I remember like they would maybe run with the ball, somebody get tackled, and a big divot would come flying up, and they'd have to like push the divot back down into the ground. I mean, I don't know. I said, I don't know if it's strictly because it was the Giant, because a lot they have they have like whatever soccer events there, and they have concerts there, and they have the Giants playing one week, then the Jets play the week, then the Giant. There's like never a rest for the stadium. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not sure. But, I mean, if they can grow grass, and I'll tell you what, the Eagles Stadium, I can't stand the Eagles, but their stadium's beautiful. Absolutely freaking beautiful. Grass, and the stadium, the inside, and the Phillies ballpark, too, because that's where I watched, any baseball games. I haven't gone there in a couple of years, but the inside of the Phillies park is beautiful. Grass and beautiful. So, I mean, if they can have grass there, especially where the Eagles play. Once again, their stadium's beautiful, nice grass. If they can have grass there, I don't see why the Giants. I said, unless the biggest problem is because it's the Eagles and it's just the Eagles. Now, I know they play other games there too. It's just not strictly the Eagles. But I mean, I'm not sure if it's because it's the Giants and the Jets, and that causes the biggest concern. That I'm not sure. But I mean, if they can grow grass in Lambeau Field and in Philadelphia and stuff like that, they can certainly grow it in MetLife Stadium. They can put stuff on Mars. That's right. I mean, as I'm saying, you start thinking about something. We can do this and we can do that, but we can't grow grass. And I don't know. It is what it is. But all right, well, it's been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Almost set a new world record there. So I'll be back again tomorrow. So we'll have predictions and all kinds of good stuff and get ready for the game on Sunday. Sunday. So Jersey guys, good talking to you, buddy. Anyone ever spent any time listening to me live? Thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.